Welcome back to our channel, fellow General Hospital fans. We always appreciate you joining us for these deep dives into the characters we all hold so dear. Let us jump right into the heart of the current drama. General Hospital has been delivering some truly breathtaking television lately, weaving a web of espionage, psychological warfare, and deeply rooted family loyalty that feels both classic and refreshingly new. At the center of this storm is a storyline that has me completely captivated, particularly because it draws upon decades of rich history while pushing our beloved characters into terrifying new territory. The shadows of the WSB are once again stretching over Port Charles, and the stakes have rarely felt this personal or this dangerous. When we look at the current landscape, with hostages held at Windermere and secret identities slowly unraveling, it is impossible not to feel a profound sense of dread mixed with absolute excitement. As a viewer who cherishes the nuanced storytelling this show can provide, I find myself hanging on to every single scene, analyzing every look and every whispered threat. The intricate dance between heroes, villains, and those operating in the gray areas is reaching a fever pitch, and I am thrilled to share my thoughts on where this is all heading. Let us begin by discussing the incomparable Anna Devane. There is something profoundly satisfying about watching Anna rely on her legendary instincts. For weeks, we have watched this man parading around town, wearing the face of Nathan West, calling himself Cassius, and manipulating those who are desperate for answers. But Anna, with her extensive background in intelligence and her deep understanding of human deception, is finally pulling on the threads of this elaborate disguise. I absolutely love how the writers are handling Anna's unwavering conviction that Cassius is not who he claims to be. She is not just suspicious, she is certain, and her certainty is grounded in years of surviving the very psychological torment that the WSB is currently inflicting on others. Anna knows what a broken mind looks like, and she knows what a manufactured identity feels like. Watching her piece together the truth about Cassius is a reminder of why she has been a cornerstone of General Hospital for so long. She is sharp, she is relentless, and she is entirely focused on uncovering the truth before it is too late. Anna's realization naturally leads her to Felicia, and this is where the storyline strikes a deeply emotional chord for me. Felicia and Anna share a bond that has weathered countless storms, and their scenes together always carry the weight of their shared history. Anna's primary goal right now is not just to expose Cassius, but to protect James. As Nathan's son, young James is in an incredibly vulnerable position, especially with a man wearing his father's face roaming the streets. Anna's desperate attempts to convince Felicia of the danger Cassius poses are both heartbreaking and thrilling to watch. I think it is a brilliant narrative choice to center this espionage plot around the protection of a child. It grounds the high-stakes spy drama in very real, very relatable maternal and familial instincts. Felicia, who has already lost so much, must now grapple with the horrifying possibility that the man she thought might be a miracle is actually a profound threat. The tension in their conversations is palpable, and I commend the actors for conveying such a rich tapestry of fear, doubt, and fierce protective love. While Anna is working to expose him, Cassius is finding himself caught in a terrifying web of his own making. The revelation that Ross Cullum has ordered Cassius to assassinate Jen Sidwell is a massive turning point in this narrative. Up until now, Cassius has operated with a certain smug superiority, manipulating Nina and forcing a devastating confession upon Liesl Obrecht. But this kill order changes everything. Cullum is a ruthless, sadistic operative, and by ordering Cassius to eliminate Sidwell, he is effectively pushing Cassius into a suicide mission. Sidwell is not a man who can be easily taken down, and I find myself fascinated by the corner Cassius has been backed into. This is where the character becomes truly interesting. Is he a loyal soldier to the WSB, willing to die for Cullum's power grab, or does he possess a survival instinct that will force him to go rogue? I believe this mission is the catalyst that will finally shatter the facade Cassius has been maintaining, forcing him to make choices that are driven by sheer desperation rather than calculated malice. This escalating danger brings us to Nina Reeves, a character who is currently experiencing a profound and terrifying unraveling. Nina is in a state of absolute panic, and frankly, I cannot blame her. Her Aunt Liesl has been violently abducted, her daughter figure Willow is entangled in a dark mess, and now the threat is expanding. Nina's fear that Jack Brennan or other members of her inner circle will be targeted next is entirely justified. What I appreciate about Nina's current state is how raw and unfiltered her terror is. She is a woman who loves fiercely, often to her own detriment, and the thought of losing Liesl or Britt is pushing her to the brink. We have seen Nina be easily manipulated in the past, particularly by Cassius's fabricated cover stories. But her current panic is stripping away her usual defenses. She is operating on pure adrenaline and desperation, which makes her incredibly unpredictable. As a viewer, you cannot help but feel deep sympathy for her plight, even if you have disagreed with her choices in the past. She is a woman fighting for her family's survival against an invisible, lethal enemy. In one of the most surprising and compelling twists of this storyline, we are seeing the formation of a deeply unsettling alliance between Cassius and Nina. On paper, this partnership should not work. Cassius has lied to Nina, manipulated her grief, and is actively involved with the people holding Liesl captive. Yet, desperation makes for strange bedfellows. Cassius, facing a near impossible assassination order from Cullum, realizes he cannot survive this alone. Nina, desperate to save Liesl and Britt, needs an inside man. I find this dynamic utterly fascinating. It is a fragile, toxic trust built entirely on mutual necessity. Cassius choosing to team up with Nina to save James, Liesl, and Britt suggests that there might be a sliver of humanity beneath his cold exterior, or perhaps it is merely a calculated move to secure his own escape route. Either way, watching these two characters navigate this dangerous alliance is a masterclass in suspense. Every conversation they have is laden with unspoken threats and fragile promises, and I am on the edge of my seat wondering who will betray the other first. The stakes of this rescue mission cannot be overstated. We have Liesl Obrecht, a formidable woman in her own right, enduring unimaginable psychological and physical captivity at the hands of Ross Cullum on Spoon Island. We have Britt Westbourne, fiercely protecting Rocco while on the run, hunted by both the WSB and Sonny's operatives. And we have young James, innocently caught in the crossfire of his uncle's dark legacy. The fact that Cassius is supposedly committing to saving all of them adds a layer of immense complexity to his character. Can a man who has done such terrible things truly be instrumental in their salvation? I have my doubts, but I am entirely invested in the attempt. The writers have masterfully positioned all these beloved characters in the path of the same destructive storm. If Cassius and Nina's plan fails, the fallout will be catastrophic, altering the landscape of Port Charles forever. I am particularly anxious to see how Liesl will react to being rescued by the very man who tormented her with the truth of his identity. That eventual confrontation is bound to be explosive. Meanwhile, as Anna navigates her own treacherous path to expose Cassius and protect her loved ones, she finds unexpected but deeply welcome support from Felicia and Emma Scorpio Drake. This development brings a wonderful sense of legacy and history to the forefront. Felicia and Emma stepping in to help Anna escape her current troubles is a beautiful reminder of the enduring strength of the Scorpio Drake family. Emma, in particular, represents the next generation of resilience. We have seen her acting as a sounding board for Gio, displaying a grounded maturity, and now seeing her actively assist Anna feels like a passing of the torch. I absolutely adore when General Hospital utilizes its rich family histories to solve modern crises. Felicia's involvement also shows that despite the terrifying nature of Anna's warnings about Cassius, Felicia is not paralyzed by fear. She is taking action. Together, these three generations of strong, capable women are forming a united front against the encroaching darkness of the WSB. And it is undoubtedly one of the most uplifting aspects of this otherwise incredibly dark and tense storyline. However, this rescue mission and Anna's escape are on a collision course, leading to an inevitable and explosive tension between Anna and Cassius. This is the confrontation I have been eagerly anticipating. Anna, armed with the truth and backed by Felicia and Emma, versus Cassius, a desperate man playing a dangerous double game with Nina. Even if Cassius is genuinely trying to save James, Liesl, and Britt, Anna has absolutely no reason to trust him. To her, he is a dangerous imposter, a weapon forged by the WSB. I expect their interactions to be filled with blistering dialogue and intense psychological warfare. Anna will not easily accept his help, nor will she forgive his manipulation of her friends. This tension is the brilliant crux of the current drama. It asks the audience to weigh the value of a bad man doing a good thing against the insurmountable damage he has already caused. I firmly believe Anna is right to keep her guard up, as Cassius's true loyalties remain dangerously ambiguous. The ripple effects of this storyline are being felt across the entire canvas of Port Charles. While we are deeply focused on the immediate danger to Anna, Nina, and the hostages, we cannot forget how this WSB intrusion mirrors the historical traumas of the town. The psychological breakdown of Jocelyn Jacques at Windermere, paralleling Anna's own dark history in France, serves as a grim reminder of what Cullum and his organization are capable of. It makes Cassius's mission and Anna's desperation all the more poignant. Every character involved knows that failure means not just death, but a complete erasure of identity and sanity. This is why the pacing of these episodes feels so heavy and deliberate. The writers are not rushing the resolution, they are letting the dread marinate, allowing us to fully comprehend the horrific reality of what happens when the WSB sets its sights on your family. It is a bold narrative choice, and while it is sometimes difficult to watch our favorites suffer, it makes for undeniably gripping television. I must also take a moment to praise the phenomenal performances that are anchoring this complex narrative. The nuanced portrayal of Cassius, balancing on the knife edge between a cold-blooded operative and a desperate man seeking a way out, is truly commendable. It takes immense skill to make the audience feel a shred of sympathy for a character who has caused such pain. Likewise, the sheer emotional weight carried by the actresses playing Anna, Nina, and Felicia is breathtaking. They are delivering performances that are raw, vulnerable, and fiercely protective. When Nina panics, we feel her heart racing. When Anna narrows her eyes in suspicion, we feel the chill in the room. It is this caliber of acting that elevates General Hospital from a simple daytime drama to a compelling, character-driven masterwork. As a longtime viewer and a new blogger, it is these performances that inspire me to write, to analyze, and to engage so deeply with the material. They make the fictional town of Port Charles feel like a real community facing genuine tragedy. As we look toward the future episodes, there are so many unresolved threads that demand our attention. Will Cassius actually pull the trigger on Sidwell, or will he turn his weapon on Cullum? Can Nina maintain her fragile composure long enough to see Liesl and Britt brought to safety? And how will Anna navigate the treacherous waters of accepting help from a man she fundamentally despises? I have a strong feeling that the resolution to this crisis will not be clean or simple. There will be casualties, if not physical, then certainly emotional. The trust between these characters has been fractured in ways that may take years to repair. I am particularly worried about the psychological toll this will take on young James, who is at the center of a storm he cannot possibly understand. The brilliance of General Hospital is its ability to weave these long-term consequences into the fabric of the show, ensuring that the events of today will continue to shape the narratives of tomorrow.